Good afternoon. It's Wayne, the Rogue-Advenutrer, back once again. Just checking in, seeing how everyone's doing, and have another chat today. It's been a few days. So, yeah, I thought maybe I actually should, get back and continue this this little video chat sequence that we've got going on. So, I do hope the majority of people have been getting some value out of what it is that I've been doing and hope to continue doing. So before I go any further, I guess the usual admin. If you're interested or you do enjoy seeing these, do please check on the notifications tab so you get notifications when I jump on. Hey Judah, how you doing? And also, if you want to follow or find out more information, do touch base and we can chat. If you are in any way interested or affected by mental health illnesses, then also obviously get in touch and we can chat about that. Or you can always go to someone like Lifeline or one of the other support agencies that are out there. Hey Rick, how you going, buddy? So basically, before I start, what I really want to say is, look, I'm not an expert. I've had some struggles that some of you may have experienced yourselves, and that's what I want to talk about. There were a few comments that were made in regards to my last video that did shake my resolve some in basically presenting this content or this type of content, and even just putting myself out there. G'day Hanane, how are you? And I guess part of that video was talking about the man in the arena. Gavin, how you doing? The speech by Teddy Roosevelt, I'll let you look into that. But basically, the idea behind that talk, or that speech I should say, is he basically tells people that it's not the critics, okay, that count, it's the man in the arena, okay, the guy that's putting himself out in front of people. And in this situation, it was me. And I was taken back by the comments, which happens when you may not understand the full concept or the full idea behind what someone's talking about. So look, I've decided that I'm going to continue on this particular path and I want to keep sharing. I do hope that people can understand that. I don't pretend to have answers or solutions. I'm just talking about what works or has worked for me or what I'm finding useful, and I just want to share that because I hope that I can make a difference to other people's lives. That's all I want to do. So if part of what I say resonates with you, or if you find that you get some value, then I feel that I've achieved something, okay, because I want to help people. I also want to engage in conversation with people, and I want to hear what works for you. I'll be respectful of you and what works for you. I just ask that you do the same and you show the same level of respect back, because different people have different things that work for them. So I guess that's the background and the admin side of it. So look, by all means, put a comment or send me a message. Tell me if you think I'm on the right track, or if you have something that works for you differently, or you think might work better, and we can talk to people about those things. So to share more about my story, Josh, how you going, buddy? To share more about my story, I want to sort of take you back to when I first started experiencing problems. I do ask that if you have experienced issues yourselves, then you may not want to hear the whole story because it may affect people or bring things back. I don't want that. Okay, so just a little bit of a disclaimer from the start. So in 2009, I was deployed to Afghanistan on my 4th deployment. And on that deployment, I was a senior medical technician with the OMLT, okay, the Observer Mental Liaison Team. And we were based out at FOB Mirwais in the Chora Valley. And we worked closely with the Afghan National Army, with the US Army, the National Guard actually with their police mentoring team, and the Netherlands Army, so we had their special forces out there with us. So I had a lot on my plate, and I really threw myself into that role. And I found I was constantly running into different roadblocks that stopped me from fully achieving my task. So my basic task was delivering of healthcare to the deployed forces. So it didn't matter if they were the American, the Netherlands, the Dutch soldiers, sorry, or the Australian, plus the Afghan National Army. Okay, so we helped support their medics as well. And we also were in charge with caring for civilians who were injured as part of contact between coalition forces and the Taliban. And so this was something that used to continuously cause irritation for me, because I was told we were righto, Josh. We were told that we were responsible for looking after people who were injured between battles with the coalition and with the Taliban, and we were constantly put in situations where we weren't able to deliver on that, and that really frustrated me. And it's, you know, when you're trying to work towards something and you can't do it, it really does suck. So for me, the tipping point was during a mass casualty event where we had a suicide bomb. He detonated. He was wearing a vest, and he detonated himself in a crowded marketplace. This was intense. Okay, and basically we had dead and wounded civilians, soldiers. There was children. It wasn't nice. And I guess anyone who's been in a similar situation, whether it's in a civilian accident, hey Christine, you know, in witnessing a car crash or anything like that, will know what it kind of is like to have things. Anyway, it's not nice. Anyway, look, we had a lot of roadblocks and things to overcome on that day, but we successfully managed this mass casualty event. We treated all the injured, and we overcame the difficulties, and we had a positive outcome in affecting the casualty of all the injured. So I'm really grateful that I had a really disciplined, strong team working with me, made of all coalitions. So we had the Dutch guys, we had the Americans, we even had, you know, the ANA working with us, and it was a really, really effective team who did a lot of good that day. We knew the drills, and at the end of the day, we achieved a really great outcome for everybody, for all the injured that were brought to us. So for myself, it wasn't long after this particular incident that I was due to rotate out of theatre for R&R on Rockall. And it was while I was in transit back home that I ran into trouble. Okay, I had my little breakdown. And then I'm not pointing fingers at anyone or blaming anyone, the fact that it happened, but I'm just basically talking about what happened. So our flights were delayed, and obviously, you know, connections were missed and things just went wrong. It happens. It was while I was stuck in transit that I put myself in a bad situation that allowed my protective mechanisms that I had, the walls that were built, to come down. So I, you know, fresh out of theatre, stuck in another city, I basically partook in some irresponsible drinking, my own fault, and the resulting loss of the conscious coping mechanisms, okay, saw me get into this, you know, serious trouble. So then by the time I arrived back home to Townsville, which is where I was living at the time, I was a shadow of the man that I was, you know, just hours before. And this was the start of everything, and where it all started to fall apart. Okay. Proceed forward, and then in 2013. Okay, so I'll go into that section of the story another time. But basically, in 2013 is when I started running long distance races or runs. All right, when I discovered ultra running, and for me, despite all the previous counselling and everything that I'd done, I feel that this was the beginning of the way forward for me. And I feel that it was an integral part of my overall recovery and helping me re-establish with my consciousness. Okay, and I believe that this was through breathing, okay, through the breath work that actually happens when you're running. I feel it's a powerful tool, being conscious of your breath and getting in tune with your mind and your body. Okay, but I know not everyone's a runner. It makes it a bit hard, isn't it? So what I actually want to share today, the good thing, okay, today, is that there's a couple of simple breathing exercises that you can do to help clear your mind and to create focus, while also allowing you to become more relaxed. And this is what I want to show you today. So a lot of you may know, or may not, I recently completed a 200-hour yoga teacher training course, and for me it was part of my development and part of my understanding of how yoga has benefited me, but also how the breathing also works in a better way. So in yoga, there's a breathing method called Ujjayi breath, okay? And this is creating a slight constriction within the throat, so that as you inhale and exhale, you make a noise that's basically explained as being similar to fogging up a mirror. So like this. You could do the same thing. Pretend there's a mirror on your hand, fog it up. The idea with this though is that you do it through the nose with the mouth closed. That constriction in the throat causes that noise as you breathe in and as you breathe out, like this. Don't know if you can hear that. Kind of might sound a bit like Darth Vader, but it's all in the throat, it's not in the nose, but you breathe through the nose. So what you can do with this, hey Ian, how you going, buddy? What you can do with this is, if you're sitting in a comfortable seated position, okay, on the floor, in a chair, on a beanbag, you want to keep yourself sitting upright, okay? You want to not have something against your back, because you want to be able to have some movement and some space to breathe. So if you're sitting in your comfortable upright position, and then if you close your eyes, and then you create that constriction in your throat, then you start to breathe in and out. And what you do is you focus on the throat, okay, and on the noise as you breathe in and out. And you can just sit here for a few minutes, and as you breathe in and out, focusing on the breath, okay, the noise that you're making. Hey Robbo, how you going, mate? The noises that as you concentrate on the noises that you're making, your concentration is on that point. As you breathe, you're oxygenating, obviously, and also it's going to help clear your mind because you're focusing on something specific, okay? If you've got a focus, that's where you're going to be looking and thinking, all right? So easily, sitting upright, eyes closed, nice and comfortable, constriction in the throat. As simple as that. Hey Rhonda, how you doing? So doing this really simple breath work, it's the basic principle, or the building block foundation, I guess, of allowing yourself to focus, become clearer of the mind, all right? And it's going to help reduce tensions, it's going to help reduce the stress, and it's going to help you focus on what it is that you need to be thinking of. It can be done anywhere. You're not going to look silly, okay? You can actually just stand there, close your eyes, and do the breathing for a few minutes. And you'll find that it'll help you take time to recenter yourself, okay? It'll help you connect again with your breathing, and it's going to help you regain control of your consciousness, okay? It'll put your mind where it needs to be. So if you can try that, that'll be really awesome. Try and do it every morning when you wake up. Do that for at least 2 minutes, 5 minutes would be really good. And you use that as the foundation to start building upon a practice of mindfulness and learning how to become present, okay? Then you can also start after that, once you've settled into clearing the mind, then you can begin to do meditation, which I'd like to talk about another time. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your time. Do invite you to come back and watch some more. Paul, how you doing, mate? If you haven't done it yet, then check on the notifications, and so you get notified when I jump on, and catch up on the videos if you haven't seen the other ones. And have a great weekend. Peace out and enjoy.